Welcome. This is from Beyond The Paign, an Illinois basketball podcast. Welcome, guys. Welcome. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. Like I said, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, my name is Cody. If you're new here and you're on YouTube, please hit the like button. If you're on X or Twitter, please come to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Would mean a lot. Personally, would mean a lot if you did so. And hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Got a handful more last night, so I appreciate y'all. We're halfway to 350. Maybe we can get to 350 before tomorrow. But either way, if we don't, we'll come back and we'll try again for post game tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But Illinois and Northwestern tip off tomorrow night in Evanston. I don't know about you guys. I'm just going to give you the vibes. If you have followed me because of Cubs content or whatever, if you follow me on social media for a while, you know I'm a big vibes guy, right? The vibe right now is I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this game. I think Illinois is better than Northwestern. I think Illinois is going to win tomorrow, but I'm nervous. And I'm largely nervous for the obvious reason. And it is everything that has to do with the scrutiny and the environment that Illinois is going to be playing in tomorrow night at Northwestern. And even if they lose, but it's close, I probably will not be nervous because of those reasons anymore. But because it's the first game since Terrence Shannon has come back, I'm nervous. Also, Northwestern, I think that they're going to play better, which is crazy because the first time Illinois and Northwestern played, it was like the first or it was like the second game. It was the second game after he got suspended. And Marcus Damas put up a 30-point performance, and Illinois won by 30. And again, without Terrence Shannon Jr. So the logic behind from a basketball perspective is really doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm just interested to see how this team reacts to the road environment that will be in Evanston. And I think Illini fans are going to travel. I do think that they always do for this game. My guy, if you're a Cubs fan watching, my guy, Dom Frederick, he's a huge Northwestern fan. We were texting the other day and he legitimately told me, he told me we were texting, so not with a blank face, but he did tell me that it is Wrigley North vibes every time Illinois comes to Northwestern. I believe he's a season ticket holder for Northwestern games. And when he told me that, I wasn't necessarily surprised. It's just Illinois. They've dominated Northwestern over the course of time. It's 145-44, I believe, all time. Illinois is. They've won 10 out of the last 11 games against Northwestern. The one loss coming last year in December. Everyone remember that video that went viral of Brad Underwood screaming at, I want to say, Terrence Shannon Jr. They got lost. I think they lost by 13 in that game. So that's the one loss that Illinois has against Northwestern over the last 10 or 11 games. Logic says that Illinois should go to Evanston tomorrow and do just fine, right? I just need to see it. I need to see this team that I think can be a second weekend team and a perhaps Final Four team at its peak if all things go right. I need to see it. I need to see this team go on the road and win a game with everything that's happened. I need to see it first. That's where I'm at. So yes, I am nervous. We got some comments. Welcome to those who are watching and commenting. Again, head on over to YouTube if you haven't already. Lazy Forrest Gump, a.k.a. LFG, He says LFG in the chat. Hell yeah, brother. How you doing? He also says Hummel said Evanston and Columbus are two of the tamest road venues, and those are the next two road games. So this is kind of a good little promotion. I was on the Illini Cast podcast tonight with Sonny Verma and Austin Berklin. They cover all of Illinois athletics, but I was on their show tonight. Great dudes. Definitely you should go give that podcast a listen. I think they do a good job. But they're dropping the episode I was on tomorrow. But we talked a lot about like the potential road environment and what it could be like. And one of them mentioned the fact that Evanston and Columbus are, it's not like going to Iowa every year, right? Or even going to IU or Purdue, right? So I just feel like this game in Evanston could be something that like probably more so Northwestern fans to want. Because if anyone wants to make this Northwestern Illinois series like an actual rivalry, it's Northwestern fans, because they're like the little brother of the state in the Big Ten, right? Like they historically they're not a good basketball program. They've made the NCAA tournament twice, and they could make it this year. I think they could. I think they're a good enough team to do it. But again, we're talking about over the course of time, right? Like they just aren't. They are nowhere close to the type of program that Illinois is. Illinois is always getting the best recruits out of the state of Illinois. I just talked about one yesterday in Jeremiah Fears, right? I think Northwestern fans, in some aspects, want to change the narrative, and tomorrow is their chance to, I guess, in a way, do that. Obviously, like I know it's more from a fan perspective, and saying a bunch of nasty shit, whatever. But listen, Northwestern's been tough to beat at their place. They beat Purdue there. Like they beat Michigan State there, which I don't know if that might not be I think they're getting it together, but sometimes they just go back to the bottom of where they take a step back, whatever. But I think that game is going to be tough tomorrow. I think Illinois wins, but I don't think it's going to be a snooze fest. That's just how I feel. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they blow them out by 30 so I cannot be stressed for the sole fact of not being stressed about it, right? So that's, again, I think it's interesting that, Robbie Hummel said that, sure. But I just, with this whole thing with Terrence Shannon Jr., and I've talked about it a little bit, like, I just think a lot of people don't know enough about this case, haven't taken the time to look it up. It's sad. It is what it is. But these college students they're not going to care enough. They're going to go into Welsh Ryan tomorrow and do what student sections do, right? And I just feel like if Illinois gets off to a slow start, it could be a long night. I think if Illinois gets off to a hot start early, quiets the crowd, they roll. But I still haven't forgot what happened last year at Northwestern. It was an embarrassing loss. It really was. And maybe the guys like Luke Goody and Terrence Shannon and Coleman Hawkins, maybe that's in the back of their heads too. Like they want to have a better performance at Northwestern this time around, right? Maybe. But there's a lot to play for tomorrow for Illinois. I think there's not going to, like, if Illinois has any kind of letdown the rest of the season, they don't really have an excuse. They have they have everyone rooting against them at this point, right? So there shouldn't be any sort of issue when it comes to motivation, in my opinion. So yeah, that's where I'm at. E in the chat says Shannon will break out his best Jalen Rose act tomorrow night, Cody. All right, book it. Let's see. LFG says he got a retweet from the legend D Brown yesterday. Dude, D Brown is one of my favorite follows on Instagram because, like, he sound the way he posts on Instagram is like an old man posting on Facebook. But he posted a video and it was like, he was saying something along the lines of Io DeSumo, Terrence Shannon. Io DeSumo, Terrence Shannon are some of the best players in transition to ever play at Illinois. Something like that. ILL. He said something along those lines. It cracked me up. It cracked me up. Illini legend, one of my all-time favorites. Let's see what else. We are 6-0 when Harmon scores 10 plus. He's an X factor, man. Justin Harmon he's been great. He scored 18 in his last game, and he's been very good. I thought he was the one when Shannon was out that got the biggest boost, right? He opened up minutes for him. He started playing anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes a game. I think his minutes are going to come down a little bit now with Shannon back, but he still scored 18 the other night against Rutgers. That's Rutgers, but anything to keep his confidence up. I think if he is able to give you double-digit scoring, like LFG is saying in the chat, anytime he scores double digits, I think Illinois is going to win because you got so many options, right? He's like the fifth or sixth option on this team. It's Shannon, Damask, Hawkins, Guerrier, and then Harmon, right? That's where it's at. What's up, Jack? He just says my name, Cody, in big capital letters. How's it going, bro? So, I'm not a big stats guy, but we can go over the last game. And this is kind of going to go into the fact of why I think it's going to be closer. Illinois shot 62% in the last game against Northwestern. 62%. They went 10 of 18 from 3. So they shot 55% from 3. All right. I just don't see them doing that again. Like, to shoot 60% for an entire 40 minutes is unreal. I think they won 96-66. If they put up, I think I'll be happy if they put up 70 tomorrow. I think I just don't see them putting up anywhere close to 96 again. So I will say this, if Illinois goes with the same defensive mindset against Northwestern, I think that's a winning formula. Boo Booey had 20, 25 points, somewhere in that range, but no one else really did anything for them, right? Let me bring up the stat sheet from the last game. Boo Booey, he had 20 points, and Ty Berry had 14. Luke Hunger had 10. That's really about it. They're gonna need more out of Langborn to win, no doubt. Yeah, I think the biggest stat about Bowie is the fact he had 0 assists, and I think that's huge. The fact that he didn't have any assists in that game. So, if Illinois lets him get his, but no one else is getting involved, they're going to win this game. It's really not like I'm not even trolling or anything. I think even Northwestern fans would tell you that Illinois is better than them at this point. But considering the spot, the timing of this game, they have to feel like they're going into this game with house money and nothing to lose. The only thing they have to lose is I think they need this win for their resume, their tournament resume, to cement themselves into being an NCAA tournament team. But it's still a young season. They can still find a way to get in. So I don't think it's necessarily must win. LFG says he believes a 79-66 win for Illinois. Hey, I'd take that. Yeah, no, that's not a bad prediction. I think that sounds something like that. So, that's where I'm at, guys, in terms of the vibes. Now, I don't reference Kim Pom on here a ton, but I was looking at it today, basically for gambling reasons, but then I was looking at it later for this preview show. Illinois is ranked 9th in KenPom. In adjusted offensive efficiency, they are ranked 9th, and adjusted defensive efficiency, they're ranked 27th. And then when you look at Northwestern, they are ranked 61st in KenPom, 58th in adjusted offensive efficiency, and 81st in adjusted defensive efficiency. So, again, that's kind of a big difference for sure, right? In those two categories. I just don't know where Northwestern's going to get the offense. And with the way that Illinois plays defense, just feels like it's too good to be true in some ways. So I'm ready to be proved wrong tomorrow, guys. That's where I'm at. I'm ready to be proved wrong tomorrow. I see Illinois winning, but I see it being close. If I'm proved wrong, that means Illinois wins by double digits, and it's an easy win. And if they go on the road and win by double digits, considering everything that we know at this point, then I'm not too worried about road environments going forward. I'm not trying to get ahead on the schedule, but this is another game where I feel like if Illinois plans on winning the Big Ten, they need to win. They need to. Wisconsin won again tonight. Minnesota, terrible first half, made a nice little second half comeback, lost by 2. I was watching Wisconsin too, and they look legit, man. There's a reason they're 11th in KenPom, and they're a top 15 team in the country. When Illinois and Wisconsin play, it's going to be a fun one. Hopefully, fun in terms of if you're just a pure basketball fan, but it'll be a game that we'll really, really know if this team can go as deep as we think it can. I think that obviously them and the next time they play Purdue. So it's hard to take that Purdue game with a lot of salt now, considering Shannon didn't play that game and he's back. So yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous, but how the rest of you, we got a small handful watching tonight. We're about 18 minutes in. I'm going to do this for a couple more minutes. I'd just love to know your thoughts. So put them in the chat, whether it's on YouTube or on Twitter. Would love to know how you're feeling. I'll hang out for a couple more minutes and answer some questions if you guys have any. But I will say, Jack, thank you for subscribing. I just got your notification. Appreciate you, brother. So yeah, I think when you look at this conference moving forward, this is a game that Illinois needs to win if they plan. Sorry, I'm muted. This is one that you make up for the Maryland loss in a way, right? They shouldn't have lost to Maryland. Like that, they played a bad game and they should have never lost to Maryland. But you win this game, you basically get one back. So let's take a look around the Big Ten before we get out of here. And while I'm doing that, I'll look forward to any one of your comments if you send any. Purdue is killing Michigan right now, which is no surprise. Michigan on the road at Purdue. Yeesh. Nebraska beat Ohio State tonight. Nebraska's really struggling of late, right? They're really struggling of late. Or not. Did I say Nebraska? I think I meant to say Ohio State. 3-5 now in conference. And I thought they were pretty good in the non-conference. They have struggled in the Big Ten. They're 0-4 on the road, 9-2 at home. One of those losses at home was to Wisconsin. I'm starting to think Ohio State might be frauds.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'm trying to look at their schedule. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so okay, they just lost to Nebraska tonight. I know it's hard to win at Nebraska, but still. They beat Penn State at home. They lost to Michigan. They lost to Wisconsin, which again, Wisconsin's good. I've already said that, but they lost to Indiana as well. Beat Rutgers by 4. They were a lot more impressive in the non-conference, no doubt. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with them, but they need to start winning if they're trying to make the NCAA tournament. I thought they're going to be a top 5 team in the Big Ten for sure, and it's not looking like that right now. So going into this game tomorrow, obviously Wisconsin #1, the Big Ten, Purdue #2, a game back at 6-2, and then Illinois is at 5-2. Now that's a big game for conference standings as well. Northwestern is 4-3, so if they win, they'll be 5-3, and Illinois will be 5-3, so they'll be tied again. I don't know how the tiebreaker situation works there, but they'll be tied for third. So I think in terms of conference standings, Illinois needs to win this game alone, obviously. So we'll see how it goes. My guy Sonny in the chat, he says no easy road games in the Big Ten. Got to come locked in. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And that's another reason why I'm really nervous about this game. Illinois is 2-2 on the road. One of those wins was at Michigan. What was the other win? I'm blanking here. I'm blanking. It was a non-conference game. I don't know. This is bad audio, and I apologize. I know they lost at Tennessee. I was at that game. They beat FAU, but that was at Madison Square Garden. That's Rutgers. They won at Rutgers. They beat Rutgers and they beat Michigan on the road. Right. This would be their best road win of the season if they win tomorrow. Right. Northwestern's better than Rutgers and Michigan, so there's a lot to play for here. This is how I'll end it. Like this, there's a lot to play for. The way I started the podcast in terms of how nervous I am about the possibilities of how this environment could affect the team. At the same time, one of the reasons that it's not necessarily easy for me to root for Illinois, but that I see the difference in this team compared to last year is last year's team, they clearly there was some turmoil, there was a lot of selfishness. I look at this team this year, and they all, like Brad Underwood has said 1,000 times, they all do look connected. And I said after the Rutgers game that for this game, for me to really buy in fully to the whole, they're connected, they love each other, all these things, if they go to Northwestern tomorrow and roll in an easy win, then I really will buy into that fully. Because a lot of it, some of it, I take it with a grain of salt. Coaches talk. It's almost like from a professional sports standpoint, like GM talk, manager talk, saying nothing but good things about the guys on their team. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's like you got to read between the lines, right? So I need to see them win tomorrow for me to kind of put a lot of this to the side. I think it's going to be a hostile environment. Robbie Hummel doesn't think it will be, but I think this is a chance for Northwestern to, I don't know, make some sort of mark on this quote unquote rivalry, right? So yeah, I'm nervous, but again, to flip it around, Illinois has everything to play for in this game with all of the talk, the noise around the program right now, the team itself, Terrence Shannon. Brad Underwood's getting a lot of criticism because he's playing Terrence Shannon, even though he's if you paid attention to the story at all, he's just doing his job. There's Illinois has to have a chip on their shoulder going into this game. That's how I want to view it. That's my positive spin before we end this, right? So, LFG, before we get out of here, LFG, this season has already been like a top tier roller coaster. My BIS, battered Illini syndrome, says the ride isn't going to be the smoothest from here on out. No, especially on the road. I think we're gonna need to see this team respond in a way that kind of pushes that up to the side for a little bit, right? I think, but I think we all look forward to playing Wisconsin and Purdue one more time. But listen, I want to win the Big Ten, and they need to win these games, and they need to win more games on the road. No, like this entire conference is terrible on the road, man. Wisconsin, Purdue, and Illinois are the only teams that are at 500 or above 500 on the road. Wisconsin's 3-3, Purdue is 3-2, Illinois is 2-2. Then after that, everyone else in this conference is under 500. So Illinois is better than the rest of the teams that I didn't mention. They're absolutely better. Wisconsin and Purdue are solid. Purdue, national championship favorite, right? Wisconsin, they're probably getting a lot of talk about at least being a second weekend team, right? Illinois needs to win this game if they're going to if they truly belong in this top echelon of Big Ten basketball in the year of our Lord 2024. So that's where I'm going to leave y'all. Prediction tomorrow.
I think Quincy Guerrier is going to lead the team in scoring tomorrow. He's had back-to-back double-doubles. Give me Quincy Guerrier to lead Illinois in scoring tomorrow. All right. That's your bold prediction for tomorrow. Before we get out of here, Rusty says, Illini win going away. And yes, it will be a brutal environment. Yeah, I think it will be. LFG, one more time. The final 3 games when Wisconsin, Purdue, and Illini all play each other will decide the champion. Yeah. Well, that's why they got to maintain pace, too. That way we can even get to that opportunity, right? So we'll see. Before I get out of here, again, if you're on YouTube, we got a small group watching tonight, but if you're on YouTube, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Tell your friends. Tell your friends' friends. If you're on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, please come over to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and hit the like button because you're a nice person. And I will be back here tomorrow. I'm not going to go to the game. Couldn't find a ticket. And I'm sad about it. But I'm going to go to Champaign at some point this season. I have to go watch this team play. I mean, I've already watched them play once, and it was at Tennessee, and that game sucked, at least in the last 10 minutes. But I have to go to Champaign and see this team play at least once. So I'm going to find a time to go and do that. I was hoping for Indiana, but not sure still. But I'm not going to this game at Northwestern tomorrow. So I will be here to do the live watch along, and then we'll do post game right after. So again, I will see you all here on the YouTube channel, and we will ride the roller coaster together. That is what sports fandom is all about. And therapy sessions are for all about whether they win or lose. So we'll be here for the celebration. We'll be here for the complaining and yelling and screaming if things don't go well. But at the end of the day, whatever happens, we'll all be here together to do it together. All right. So again, thanks to everyone who's tuned in, and I will see y'all tomorrow. And start the stream handful of minutes before the game starts. So just look up the schedule. And as I always end the show, ILL.